Okay, so for my final project, I chose the OC Transpo Travel Planner website. Here is the original homepage. Right away, the interface feels crowded. The map is the largest element, drawing attention away from the actual task, which is on the left side here, the trip planning form. It currently looks secondary and overwhelming with many unclear options, such as these three buttons here. This violates the principle of affordances, as users should immediately understand what each feature does. So I'll start the process of the task, which is planning a trip from Carleton University to Bayshore. Immediately after clicking Plan Your Trip, we're taken to a results page that looks cluttered and confusing. The website presents information in three different formats at once: the website, the text, and the top bar of different routes. These components all compete for the user's attention, making the layout hard to process. As a result, key usability goals like efficiency, effectiveness, and learnability are reduced because users must spend time figuring out the interface instead of choosing their route. Moving on to my redesign, my prototype in Figma, here is my homepage. It immediately is much calmer and easier to process. The user is only asked for the origin and destination, following the principles of minimizing cognitive load and aesthetic minimal design. The fields are clearly labeled, and the proceed button is simple and obvious as it's green, which improves affordances and usability. So as the user enters their information, they're met with an autocomplete feature, which reduces effort and avoids the need to memorize place names. So this supports the principle of knowledge in the real world, and it also avoids the need to process the drop-down menus that the original interface has. So clicking proceeds brings the user to a clean, uncluttered results page. They first only see the map, which is the only visual processing of information that they need to do. And this would reduce cognitive load by presenting a single piece of information at a time. It should have a path or like a kind of visual line to represent the route, but I didn't know how to do that in Figma. But either way, when the user opens the trip details section, information is shown using simple text and clear symbols without the overwhelming colors, icons, and links to different stops as the original interface does. This improves attention management and overall usability. If the user wants to modify their trip or add requirements, they can do so easily on this page. The form is straightforward with clearly labeled and logically grouped inputs. Overall, the redesigned Figma does support the user in processing their information and throughout the whole process of planning a trip without overwhelming them or without giving them confusing information.